Something about seeing a petite, blonde teenage girl possessed by the soul of a maniacal serial killer, murdering mean girl bullies, rapey jocks and asshole teachers was extremely satisfying to watch. Hello my freaky friends, welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I'm going to be doing a review on Blumhouse Productions' latest release, Freaky. Freaky is a gory horror comedy following an encounter between Millie, a timid and awkward teenage girl, and the Blissfield Butcher, an aging notorious serial killer who terrorizes their town. When Millie is stabbed by the Blissfield Butcher with a mysterious dagger, she survives the attack. However, there seems to be a side effect resulting in the two of them switching bodies. Written and directed by Christopher Landon, whose previous works include Happy Death Day 2, and Paranormal Activity: The Marked Ones. This is a light-hearted but brutal body swap horror comedy. By now, I'm sure we're all familiar with the whole body swap concept. It isn't a unique premise by any means. There are multiple examples of this, including Freaky Friday, which for me immediately comes to mind. Funny that the names are nearly identical and they both take place on Friday the 13th. I'm sure that this was on purpose and this is some kind of an homage to that film. The main point of difference in this film is that it's a horror film, but like many others that use this whole body swap concept, it does follow a very similar formula. After I saw the trailer for this film a couple months ago, I had a pretty good idea of what kind of film this was going to be. I was expecting a fun, violent, and overall silly horror film, and that's exactly what it was. What I didn't expect was the level of gore it had, which was really well executed, very realistic, and added to the overall fun. Something about seeing a petite, blonde teenage girl possessed by the soul of a maniacal serial killer, murdering mean girl bullies, rapey jocks and asshole teachers was extremely satisfying to watch. Even if it was made blatantly obvious from the get-go who were going to be the future victims. The filmmakers were not subtle at all to paint these characters as just complete jerks that deserve to die, and some of their interactions did feel over the top and completely unprovoked. But I can't be too harsh with this critique. This entire film is tongue-in-cheek and shouldn't be taken too seriously. What I really loved about this film were the performances by Vince Vaughn and Kathryn Newton. Vince Vaughn's portrayal of a teenage girl stuck in a middle-aged maniac's body was hilarious. His mannerisms were ultra feminine and it was just a real treat to watch. It definitely gave me Jack Black in Jumanji vibes, which also explores the whole body swap, gender swap scenario. On the other hand, we have Kathryn Newton's performance, which started off as this sweet and shy teenage girl, which turned into this cold and menacing, and if I'm honest, badass wolf in sheep's clothing. Everything about her character changes. Her stance and posture, her facial expression, even the look in her eye. It was a very convincing performance and it was really fun to watch. I also liked how they kept some realistic factors, and believe me, I'm aware of the irony of this statement in reference to the type of film this is. What I'm talking about is the whole body strength component. I think it was a good choice to keep the body strength consistent with the vessel or the actual physical body being inhabited, despite the soul that was controlling said body. I thought this was a nice touch and it just gave it an extra layer of complexity. I'm going to completely butcher this person's name, so I apologize in advance. But if I'm talking about characters, I also have to mention Misha Osherovic's character Joshua, who is one of Millie's best friends. Their character was sassy, fierce, and hilarious, and had more than a few flawlessly delivered one-liners. They felt like a breath of fresh air and embodied a type of fabulous that I could only hope to be able to pull off. When it comes to negatives, this boils down mostly to the originality of the film's concept and the plot. Like I mentioned at the beginning of this review, we've seen this type of concept done many times before and done better. The only real difference between this film and the others is that it's done in a horror context, but this isn't enough to make it feel like a fresh new idea. Because we've seen this same film, only dressed in a different outfit, it plays out in an incredibly predictable way. What I will say, without giving too much away, but I will have a minor spoiler warning here, is that I thought that this was going to go down a different path at the end. And that really excited me, actually. It totally felt like it was set up to go down this different route, and I just think it would have been really cool to have gone there, but never mind. This is probably not making much sense to anyone, but if you do want to discuss further, put a comment in the comments below. Maybe put a spoiler warning on your comment, but we can discuss this further and see what you thought. I can't be the only one who felt like this is where it was going. Also, I have to mention that the last scene should have been cut. We did not need it. It was not necessary at all, and it just was kind of lame. It's a weaker scene in the film, and it's a shame that's the last thing that you leave with. And unfortunately, it did put a dampener on the whole film for me, which sounds harsh, but I'm just being honest. Now it's time for my final overview and score. Freaky is a hilarious body swap comedy horror gore fest with some terrific performances by Vince Vaughn and Kathryn Newton. It's incredibly gruesome, has some very funny moments, and is just a lot of fun to watch. Where it falls down is in its lack of originality and predictable plot. But with all that being said, what you read on the tin is exactly what you get, and so with regards to the film's intent, it pretty much nailed it, and it would be unfair for me to critique it too heavily. All in all, I enjoyed watching this film and would recommend it to others. I give this a score of 6 out of 10. I hope you guys enjoyed my review. If you've had a chance to check out Freaky yet, then let me know what you thought in the comments below. If you liked this video, give it a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe. As always, thank you so much for watching. I'll see you guys next time.